Hi, I'm Sean Cummings. I'm the owner of Home Service Profits. And today in this little webinar, we're going to talk about how you are probably not priced right on your heating equipment. Now, it's September here, and the leaves are starting to turn, and it's getting chillier in the morning, and people are turning their furnaces on for the first time in what will be a long, cold winter ahead. And this is now the time when people start thinking about replacing their equipment. This is also the time when equipment starts to break down because they haven't used it all summer, they turned it on, and now something breaks. So it gives you an opportunity to go into somebody's home and take an older piece of equipment, convert that to a lead, and then, sell a new system. But here's the thing. See, the top 5% of companies in your market, you know that they're selling furnaces for a heck of a lot more than you are. If you're selling a furnace for $4,500, they're selling a furnace for $7,500 to $8,000, almost twice as much as you are, and yet somehow they're able to outsell you, and you can't quite figure that out. So you naturally think, well, they're ripping people off, they're doing something, they're ripping grannies off and scaring people into buying from them. Not true. Not true at all. What they're actually doing is, first and foremost, they're priced properly. So in this webinar, I'm going to show you how to price up your systems properly. The next thing as well that they're doing is they aren't selling just furnaces. They're selling something called complete home comfort systems. And I'm going to talk about those too. And they've got their margins right. Plus, they're doing some things a little bit differently in the way that they're delivering the sales presentation to people. Now, remember, you're probably like most contractors out there, you're probably just dropping off bids, okay? And if you're dropping off bids, how many bids do people usually get? That's right, 3 bids. Sometimes they get 4 or 5 bids, but we'll just, for the sake of argument, we'll say people, on average, get about 3 bids from contractors when they're thinking about replacing their furnaces. Well, if you've got 3 contractors that go in the home and they're dropping off bids, then essentially the contractor that wins the bid has a 33% chance of getting the business. So if you're a company that goes around dropping off bids, then yeah, that's essentially what you're doing. You're playing a gambler's game and hoping that your price is attractive enough for someone to decide to do business with you. You can't grow your business based on a 1 in 3 chance of success, okay? You can grow your business 2 ways here. Well, really, be priced properly. That's the first thing, so that you're actually making enough money off of the sales of the equipment. The next thing that you need to be doing is you need to stop dropping off bids, and you need to start closing when you go to somebody's home. Okay, so let's talk about commission sales for a second before I go into detail about how you price your equipment up and the kinds of things that you can include with them for a higher profit margin. Okay, commission salespeople deservedly have a bad reputation, and the reason they have a terribly bad reputation is because they don't train. Okay. They fly by the seat of their pants, they don't build a lot of value, and they always make it about the price. And there's always the whole high pressure tactics thing and everything else. And yet every single day, every single one of us wakes up and we are being sold to from the moment we get up in the morning until we go to bed at night. You check your Facebook, you got advertisements. Turn on the TV, you got ads. Turn on the radio, you're hearing ads. You drive down the street, you're seeing billboard ads. You open the newspaper, you're seeing advertisements. We are being sold to all the time. Okay? You're in the business of selling. But the reality is that most people are happy to buy if a sales process is a positive experience for them that allows them to see some value. So one of the things that we teach at Home Service Profits is how to actually have a winning sales process. Okay, so that you can have a commission salesperson that's $2 million a year on average if you have enough leads for them. Because if you're the business owner, for example, and you're the person dropping off bids, that's crazy, because that's wasting your time when you should be working on the business. When you're actually running leads, you're working in the business. You might as well grab a tool belt and start repairing equipment too. Okay. Proper business owners need to work on the business and learn how to grow the business for the better. So I want you to think about that as we look at this pricing structure that is going to help you understand why you're probably not priced right. And I'm going to be honest with you here. The prices that you're going to see compared to what you're selling furnaces for, probably going to shock you. Absolutely is going to shock you. And your first reaction is going to be, yeah, it's ripping people off. No, it's not. And I'll explain why it's not. Right now, you're simply selling furnaces based on the lowest price. If you want to grow your company, you have to take your company to the next level by becoming different from everybody else, by becoming a premium service provider, because people will happily pay more money for a premium service. Okay? So think about that as we get started now, and we're going to take a look at how to price things up properly, okay, and how to actually build the value in your system. Take a look at this whole system pricing formula that we've got put together for you here. And I'm going to explain to you how powerful it is to have a proper system process and pricing in place, because as it says right there, get priced right or go home. Because if you don't price yourself right and show yourself as a premium company, you're not going to be able to differentiate yourself from your competition. So let's explore this for a bit, and then we'll sort of take it from there. Let's see what we've got. So the first thing, let's say price of equipment. It costs you, say, $1,200 for a furnace. Okay, that's your cost. Now you need to add to that your material costs, right? The stuff that you need to put it together, you know, everything from your venting and so forth. That all of those material costs have to be put into place there as well. And then, of course, your indirect costs, right? We're talking delivery, warehousing, permits, all those things. Those have to be added in. So we've got the price of equipment, we've got the material cost of $300, and we've got the delivery, warehousing, indirect costs are another $300. Now we have to add to it the labor. Ballparking here, just I don't know what your shop is, but essentially what we're talking about now is, say, maybe $300 to put the equipment in for a couple of guys to do the install. Okay, so we got to do a subtotal. That's $2,100. Now, some of you are maybe only $1,000, $1,500 more than that already on a furnace, and that's just crazy. That's just the wrong way of doing things. So we'll just continue on here. We've got a subtotal of $2,100. Now you need to divide that by 0.4. This is going to give you a retail selling price. So you take $2,100, divide it by 0.4. You get a retail selling price of $5,250 for a furnace. But we're not done yet, because that retail selling price of $5,250, that's the lowest you can go, okay, to make a profit on that particular install. What you need to do now, I like to do, is recommend, you know, another 15% retail markup. So we take that $5,250 and we divide it by another 0.85, gives us 15% retail markup. So your selling price becomes $6,176 for a furnace. Okay, now you're probably shaking your head. You're going, how can you do that? I'm putting furnaces in for $4,000, and now you're telling me I got to raise my price by another $2,000. Well, this is how you grow your business. Okay, there's this thing called the consumer buying equation. It's benefit over price equals value. Right here's your price. Okay, $6,176. You need to have an equivalent amount of benefit that you can offer to your clients, so they can see that the $6,176 was worth it. So you're going to have to now work very hard to differentiate yourself from all the competitors who are $1,500, $2,000 less. Because remember, homeowners are thinking that they're just buying a furnace, okay, and that all contractors are the same. Your job is to show them that's not necessarily the case. So let's explore this now. This is just one system, okay, but you can grow your company by adding stuff to the system. All right, now I'll show you. So the next example is price of equipment, $1,200 for the furnace again. All right, but now I want to throw in an electrostatic filter. The darn things work. I've got one in my home. Maybe your cost on the electrostatic filter is $200. Okay, pop that in there. All right, and now add a wireless thermostat, the kind that you can use, you know, a smartphone on. Okay, wireless thermostat. They're fantastic. And really, you should be putting a thermostat in every single install that you do. Also, try to get your name on the thermostat, your brand, your company name on the thermostat, so they can always see who put the furnace in. So, because here's the reality, when people move away, do they take the thermostats with them? No, they don't. So the next people that move in there, they're going to see your branded name on the thermostat. So if it ever conks out or they want to get a tune-up, they're going to go, ABC Plumbing and Heating. That's who put it in. I'm going to call them. All right. So add in your indoor air quality, add in your wireless T-stat. And again, back to your normal material cost of $300. Your indirect costs, your warehousing and permits and so forth, another $300. Labor, okay, another $300. And your subtotal's $2,500 now. And you divide it by 0.4, you get $6,250, which is a straight retail price. But we now want to mark that up by that extra 15%. Okay, remember, now the $6,250 is as low as you can go, but this needs to be your actual selling price. And if you get price objections that you can't overcome, the lowest you can go is right there at $6,250. But ultimately, if you're doing things right, you're not going to get price objections. They're going to see the value of $73.52. And I know what you're thinking. That's insane. A selling price of equipment that's $73.52 for a furnace when you're only putting them in for $4,000. But the reality is that those top companies in your market, that's what they're selling the equipment for, and they're able to answer that consumer buying equation. So let's look at another one. In this case, we're going to say price of equipment is $1,200, just like it was before. But now we're doing an electrostatic filter and a UV light. So that's going to add, say, $1,000 into the cost, okay? And then you've got the wireless T-stat. So now we've got another $1,200 worth of stuff going into this install. Material costs $300, indirect costs with warehousing and permits and so forth, another $300. Labor's $300, subtotal's $3,300. You divide that by 0.4, and now your straight retail price is $82.50. And again, that's as low as you can go, but you want to factor in that extra 15% retail markup. So divide this number by 0.85, and hello, your selling price of your equipment now is $97.05. You're probably going, I can't sell a furnace for $97.05. No one's going to buy a furnace for me for $97.05. Yes, they will. Yes, they will if you do things a little bit differently, and I'm going to show you how, okay? It's called the complete system concept, all right? Think about this. Complete system. You want to sell complete systems. Everybody else sells furnaces, right? And what a furnace is just, a box in the basement. And that's what you need to tell your clients. Hey, everybody else sells furnaces. That's just a box in the basement. My company, we sell complete systems. That's all we do. We sell complete systems. And our systems include clean, fresher, healthier air. Okay? They offer superior comfort because they're sized properly. All right? They're not oversized or undersized for your home. There's a proper system design. So we did heat load calculations to make sure that this was the right size piece of equipment for your home. And we're including a 1-year service plan, a 1-year club membership with it, okay? And with that club membership, they get priority service, and they're going to get a free tune-up 12 months from now. How cool is that? That gets them started on regularly scheduled maintenance, because you know as well as I do, most folks don't do scheduled service on their equipment at all. And they need to, because it's the #1 reason why things break down. So you give them that free club membership, you go there next year to do their free tune-up, sell them another club membership, and now we've got them taken off the market for your competitors because they're now your club members, okay? And you want to offer guarantees with your equipment. Guarantees are massively important because nobody's offering them. So this is the complete system concept. Now you got to create advanced, premier, and value packages, right? So you take those 3 prices, that one that was $97.05, you're going to call it a Comfort Advanced System. Give it a good name that delineates the fact that it is the best product that you absolutely have to sell. Okay? And then you've got one that's Premier Comfort, that's the $73.52 one. Okay? And then you've got the value package or the budget package, which is $61.76. Now, with all 3 of these, it's the same furnace, but what got these prices higher was the fact that we added a wireless thermostat and we added indoor air quality. This one here has some indoor air quality in the wireless thermostat. This one has the best indoor air quality in the wireless thermostat, and this one has neither of them. This one just has a pleated filter, okay? And you're using the homeowner's existing thermostat, all right? So now you've got what is essentially good, better, and best. Good, better, and best. Now, let me share something with you. Most people are programmed when they have 3 choices of good, better, best to pick the one in the middle. Okay? Why? Because it's like the old story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears, right? The bed's too hard, the bed's too soft, the bed is just right. The porridge is too cold, the porridge is too hot, the porridge is just right. Okay? The system's too expensive, the system's too cheap, the system is just right. So by actually creating advanced premier and value packages, you can now drive people towards the premier comfort one with good, better, and best. And again, we're selling more equipment for higher margins with that install. Okay? That's why you have to, like it says right up here, work smarter, not harder. Everybody else is below the budget one of $61.76. They're still $2,000 less than the one that's $61.76. But let me tell you something. The top 5% of companies are doing the exact same thing as this, and they're outselling you. Probably about 4 or 5 to 1. If they're outselling you and they have all of these packages on here and they're more expensive than you, and again, they're outselling you, then obviously price is not the most important thing for homeowners. What matters the most is the sense that they're getting premium service from a premium company. So you want to create value, advanced and premier packages. And you need guarantees, okay? That's what separates the top 5% from everybody else, okay? Guarantees are important. Why? Because nobody else is offering guarantees. If you're watching this right now, you don't offer any guarantees probably. Or you might have a fuzzy guarantee that says satisfaction guaranteed, but you haven't actually gone forward and defined what that specifically was, okay? Nobody else is offering guarantees. You want to include guarantees with your systems. Guarantees protect the homeowner. Warranties protect the manufacturer because they are conditional, okay? Warranties exist to protect the manufacturer. Yes, they will replace the part, but there's always weasel clauses in there that say that if the homeowner doesn't do this, we're not going to do that. Obviously, if a homeowner doesn't take care of the equipment, why should the manufacturer warranty it? Well, we want to get people started on taking care of the equipment. That's why we're offering a free club membership for a year, okay? But your guarantees are going to show the homeowner that you are taking the added level of protection for them. And the other thing about guarantees is they're written. They have to be written. You have to actually give a certificate with a guarantee on it. And the thing about guarantees is that they're actionable in court. So if you don't hold up your end of the bargain, they can take you to court. And I guarantee you that if the judge sees the guarantee, you're going to lose the guarantee battle. So you've got to offer guarantees. They protect the homeowner. Warranties protect the manufacturer. The next thing is that they're the primary reason why people are going to buy from you. Okay, because nobody else has guarantees. Why would anybody in their right mind want to buy something, a complex piece of mechanical equipment in their home, without having guaranteed? Particularly when you know there's a lot of bad work out there. Okay, guarantees are a closing tool because you can point to the guarantees and say, hey, look, these are all included with it. You can value up the guarantees and show them how much protection your company is offering them for their investment. So they're a closing tool. They offer the homeowner peace of mind because people want to have peace of mind. They want to feel that they're going to be taken care of. And they allow you to contrast how you protect the customer whereas everybody else doesn't. It's pretty straightforward. Now, what kinds of guarantees do you want to have? Well, let's talk about those. You probably want to have like a satisfaction guarantee, 100% money back guarantee of satisfaction. What that means is if the customer is not satisfied at the time of the install for any reason at all, you give them back their money. Okay? Now, you're going to take their equipment out, but you give them back the money. Okay? That's pretty much it. 100% money back guarantee of satisfaction. Another one is a comfortable home guarantee. You want to be able to say to people that you're the only contractor in your city that is prepared to guarantee somebody's comfortable home in writing. And so you have to define what that guarantee means. And so you want to tie it to like the thermostat, right? You want to be able to say that your house is going to be plus or minus 2 degrees at the thermostat on a minus 30 and minus 40 day outside. So plus or minus 2 degrees of room temperature. And if it ever fails to achieve that, you're going to come back there and find out why. And if it still doesn't fail to achieve that, you're going to replace their system free. Okay? How important, how cool is that? And see, the reason we want to offer that is because you want to size the systems properly. One of the reasons why people don't have comfort in their home is because the installation may not be the right size for the home, and therefore it's not providing the heat for the home that they need. So that's a powerful guarantee. That's worth the value of the system. Another one's a lemon-free guarantee. Everybody knows what a lemon is. A lemon is a piece of crap. Well, you want to offer a guarantee that says, you know, on this piece of equipment, the central part of that furnace, say the heat exchanger, if it ever breaks, if it ever cracks within 10 years, you're not just going to replace the part under a warranty, you're going to replace it with a brand new furnace, okay? I know you're going, I can't do that. There's no way I can do that. Yes, you can, because you're going to do proper installations. You're going to teach people to actually take care of their equipment. And the reality is, unless there's a manufacturer's defect with that heat exchanger, like the old ones that happened with Carrier, where there was a class action lawsuit about 15 years ago, it's probably not going to crack, okay? So you want to have a lemon-free guarantee. A next thing is something I like to call a $1,000 priority service guarantee. And what that means is that, you know, somebody's invested a lot of money with a system with you. You're going to give them within the first year priority service. That means that they get to go to the front of the line if they call for service. And if you ever fail to deliver that, if you ever fail to deliver today's service to somebody, you're going to give them $1,000. Okay? Another one is a 2-year satisfaction guarantee. And what it literally means is that if you are not satisfied with this furnace, okay, if it's not heating your home properly, if it's too loud, if you don't like the color of the paint, for any reason at all, within 2 years, you will take the system out of their home and give them back 100% of their money. Okay? And another one is a best price guarantee, because everybody likes to compare prices. And what you want to say is that, yep, if you can find the same system that's sized properly, the same branded system that's sized properly with the same install procedures that you've got and the same guarantees, you're going to give them the difference in price. Okay? What I can tell you is your competitors will not have the same system with the same guarantees because they aren't doing the same thing that you are doing. So you're safe with that guarantee. But it has that added level of protection for you, because now you can say, yep, we're more expensive than the other guys, and here's why. Okay? You want to also offer a 1-year buyback guarantee. If they're not happy with the system for whatever reason, in the first year, you'll buy it back from them and take it out of their home. You'll arrange for a new system with another company, and you can walk away from it. All right? Guarantees are important because different is better. You need to be different to be better than everybody else that's out there. They sell furnaces. You sell complete systems. They don't offer guarantees. You guarantee everything in writing. Okay? They aren't priced right. They're cheaper than you, so they had to have cut something out to get such a low price. You are priced right. You sell complete systems, and you don't sell a box that just goes in the basement. That's basically what we're talking about right now with this. I'm just going to go back to this page. So remember all these things. That's what makes you different from all of your competitors as you try to change things around. So we've got a pricing structure in this webinar that allows you to create 3 different types of systems. All right, an advanced system, a mid-range system, and a value price system. They're still the same furnace, but the difference is that we've added some levels of protection on, we've added guarantees, and we've added indoor air quality. And now you have, instead of just 1 furnace to sell somebody, you have 3. And now you have increased the likelihood that you're going to sell something to someone by 3. But the trick is, you have to remember, this is proper pricing. By doing what I'm recommending here, you are now becoming properly priced. And when you actually are properly priced, and I'm just going to go back a little bit here, and we'll take a look at a couple of other slides. When you go back to previous, and we're going to go to see all the slides right here. Let's go back to this one right here, okay? This was your mid-range one, okay? And here is, oh, I'm sorry, that was the lowest price one. This one is your mid-range one, okay? $73.52, and this one here is your top-of-the-line one. They're all the same pieces of equipment, but look, you've got the pricing formula right, and you've got the markup right. And remember, whatever your 15% retail markup is, this is a retail price, but this is with the proper markup. You can lower your price if you have to, but you can't go any lower than the straight retail price. So there you go. A little bit of thought for you to put into to how to price your furnaces properly as the change in the seasons is upon us. And you know what? It's time to start thinking about how to create the measure of profitability that your company is really deserving of. Okay? So there you go. You've got now a proper way to price your heating equipment as winter is approaching. And it's a way that's going to show that you are priced right and that you're a premium service, that you're a premium business. You're much more expensive than your competitors are. And you're going to have to work very hard to get your head around the fact that you are having to transition from just being cheap Charlie, Dan in a van, Chuck in a truck, to a premium business that offers guarantees, that has a price point that is going to allow you to have exponential growth. Now, I'm going to close off by pointing out something about that top 5% of companies that are doing this stuff out there in your market. They're not ripping people off. It's called business, okay? There's the cost of doing business and there's a cost of growing your business, and you need to be priced properly. The consumer buying equation is everywhere. It's in all things, and it is benefit over price equals value. You can charge as much as you want for a product or a service, but there has to be an equivalent amount of value, of benefit on top of that price for people to actually see the value. And you may not be philosophically on side with doing that. Knock yourself out. Be the cheapest guy in town. You're not going to grow your business. If that's how you want to do your business, that's fine. But for those of you out there who want to grow your business, for those of you out there who want to start to increase market share and dominate the competition and see the fruits of your labor just in a way that you can't even conceive of, where you'll be able to pay the best money for the best people to work at your company, where you can introduce things like profit share or any number of things to help, enhance the lives of your employees, my gosh, get on side with it, because what we're talking about here at Home Service Profits is giving you a mechanism by which you can create value and increase your revenues and make your company grow in ways that you can't possibly conceive of. So thanks for watching my webinar here. And hey, if you have any questions at all, give me an email. It's homeserviceprofits@gmail.com. And again, you can call me anytime, area code 306-261-5195. Again, my name's Sean Cummings, and this is Home Service Profits, homeserviceprofits.ca. I'm here to help you succeed.